Hello, everybody. Hi, so my name is Eve. This is Eve's Creations Paint Party. It's Friday night. Yay! So we're flicky doing like crazy tonight. We've got calling in the troops, Santa's reindeer. That's what I'm talking about. Tis the season, tis the season. Say hello if you're painting with me tonight. Let me know if anyone's painting with me tonight. Of course, I'm going to do some roll call. Let me show you my handy dandy table. Of course, we got the Java, and we've got the paint. Yellow, red, black, blue, and white. Every time, our glass of water. Our brushes this evening are going to be Big Boy. He is a 1-inch flat. We got a Mini Me in the house. He is a shader for details. And we have Tiny, which is a small round brush for details. When you clean your brushes, you want to swirl, you want to tap, you want to dab on your paper towel. You want your bristles to be wet, but not dripping. Alrighty, so we got roll call going on. You ladies are already popping in. I see you. Hello, Sharon. How are you doing tonight? And we've got, let's see, Marcia is here. Hello, Marcia. How are you this evening? And Tina B is in the house. Hello, Tina B. How are you doing tonight? And let's see who, this isn't scrolling. Joan is here. Hello, Joan. How are you, sweetheart? What's going on, ladies? How's everybody tonight? All right. So, we got to give props to you-know-who. So, there he is, snacking. Say hi to your fans, Butters. That's a good boy. Yeah, you get all excited when the camera turns on now. You're like the star of the show. You're Mr. Ham. You start running around and getting all full of excitement. You want to say hi to your friends? Of course you do. Of course you do. So, yeah, as soon as I hit the button on the phone, he starts running around like a crazy dog. I don't know, he gets excited, I guess because he wants to say hi to all of you guys. And, let's see, Joanne is here, and Elizabeth is here. Hello, Elizabeth. How are you this evening? So, yeah, don't ask me what the hair's doing. I threw a box of color in it, and, it's like really soft. So, I can't do a thing with it. Hello, Amanda. How are you doing, sweetheart? Hello, doll. Amanda from Australia is here. Jackie is here. Oh, goodness gracious. You're over it? All right, let's be over it together. We can be over it together. Yes. So, we got our roll call going on here. All of that good stuff. So, hello, Becky. How are you doing, sweetie? How are you doing, my doll? Okay, so let me put you guys in your handy dandy holder so we can take a look at what we're doing tonight, right? Yeah, 6,000%. So, there it is. There it is. Excuse my finger. I did clean this lens, but it does look a little smudgy to me. So, here we go. And, okay, so I'm working on a 16 by 20 canvas. All right. Hello. You're doing good, Becky. Glad to hear it. Carolyn is here. Hello, Carolyn. How are you doing, sweetie? So I am working on a 16 by 20 canvas. It is 16 this way, it's 20 straight up and down. I cannot show you both at once what I'm working on and the finished product. So I will refer to it here and there. But if you want to take a screenshot, swipe the comments off the screen and take your screenshot for reference. We're going to be Flicky-Do-A-Mania tonight. Hello, Carolyn. We got Dose Carolyns in the house tonight. There's two of you. Watch out, world. There's two Carolyns going on tonight. So, those of you following my make-em-up journey, I got puckered and I went with like coppery brown soft stuff because I didn't have much time. So, I just kept it simple. Sometimes we have to do that, you know what I mean? Keeping it simple. Especially now, right? During the holidays and all the chaos and the craziness, right? We got to take our moments to keep it simple. So, it's coppers and sparklies and browns, and I got the statement lips and all of that good stuff. So, thank you guys for supporting me in my hobby. I'm just having fun with it. Just having fun with it. Abby is here. Hello, 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 Abby. Everybody give Abby a warm Eve's Creations family welcome. She is new to the fam. She is new to the fam. That's right. I'm using very professional artist words again. That's how I work. Love the shirt matching the painting. Yeah, my shirt does match the painting, doesn't it, Liz? 6,000%. I think Liz is new. Everybody give a warm Eve's Creations family welcome to Liz. You guys are amazing. So I believe Liz is new to the fam too. Say hello, hello, hello if you're painting with me tonight. If you're being a watcher, that's fine too. Just watching, hanging out. And even if you're a creeper, you don't really want any attention, but you want to hang out, you're welcome here too. No worries. It's all good. It is all good. All right, so get your stuffs together. We're going to get started because there's a lot of flicky doing going on with this guy. There's lots of stuff. Lots and lots and lots and lots of stuff going on. So I'm going to sit my Java. Hello, I can't talk already. I'm going to sit my Java. That's what I'm going to do. Java. All right, have a good night, Becky. Thank you for popping on and saying hello. Your brush set is going out tomorrow, so 6,000%. I have that all ready spaghetti, and it's heading on out to you, okay? So, cheers, my doll. Thank you for coming on and saying hi. And I'm going to have a sip of Java. And we'll get started. We'll get started. Okay, so I have something's painted on my canvas underneath this. Which I'm covering up, so don't pay any attention to what's on my canvas right now. Because we're going to be covering this up. I've been slacking on my gesso project, so we're just going to reuse this. You can paint right over old paintings, all right? Just takes a little bit more white. That's why gessoing them is better. It's more affordable. It's more affordable, but I'm slacking. I'm a slacking. So I'm going to grab a white, a black, and a blue. That's what we're grabbing to start off. And I'm just going to go straight across the top. White, black, and blue, people. We want a nice, dark, midnight sky. Okay? So I'm going to grab the white, black, and blue. I'm grabbing a little bit extra white to get some coverage since I'm covering something up. But easy peasy. See, you could cover something right up. You can cover old paintings right up if you want to. You know, you can. That's why I say if you let it dry, you know, you could paint right over it. That's 6,000%. You know, don't stress the little things. If you just let it dry, you could paint right over it. It's you know, that's the one beauty about acrylic paints is you could turn around and paint right over them with no worries whatsoever. You're welcome, Liz. You're painting. You're not a creeper, but clueless how to post after painting. That's okay. I'll tell you how. So you just take a picture of it. And you go on to, hello, Cindy. You take a picture of it. And then you go on to my page. And see how you're commenting on my feed right now. On the event page is a post that says share here. So you hit the comment button. And in your little bubble to type something, there will be a icon to add a picture. You tap that. It's going to open up the pictures in your phone. And you tag the picture of your painting. That's how that works. That one I know. Anything else technical? You might be a little SOL. Oh, that reminds me. All of my videos are kid friendly, so I'm going to try to watch this thing. And if you guys could watch your comments, that would be great. Because you know how good I am at watching this thing right here. This thing of mine on my face. And I'm plugging you guys in. Did y'all feel that jolt? Y'all electrocuted now? When you have a moment, can you tell me how to make periwinkle blue? Struggling to get that color. Periwinkle blue. Periwinkle blue is a really light, like grayish blue. So what you want to do, Carolyn, if I have the color correct in my head, if I have the color what you're thinking of in my head, periwinkle. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab white, like I'm grabbing, and blue, white and blue, okay? And you get it to the point of where it's a really light blue for you. So let me do this down here since the snow is going to be lighter. Okay, and you have it to the point of it being a really light blue. And then you're going to add microscopic amounts of black to it. Right, just to give it some dullness, just to soften it out and give it that little bit of gray undertone. And if you keep mixing these together, right, now that's a little dark, so I'm going to wipe off my brush and I'm going to add a little bit more white to it. Okay, so adding a little bit more white, and then you keep blending these together. So it's blue, white, and then just add a little bit of black, tiny, tiny, tiny amounts, tiny, tiny, tiny amounts of black at a time. And you blend this all together, and depending on how bright you want your periwinkle to be, you will get periwinkle blue. All right, Carolyn? So there you go. I believe that's what periwinkle blue looks like. It's a grayish, it's a light gray, bluish color. So that's how you would do it right there. So blue and white. Make yourself a light blue. Add little tiny amounts of black into it until you get the depth of the color that you want. And then you could just keep adding white to it and keep adding the white and keep adding the white until it's the color that you want it to be. Okay, that being said, when you guys hit about halfway, you're going to be changing this into white and blue. All right, so when you hit about halfway on your canvas, right, you're going to be changing this to white and blue. All right, so just stop grabbing the black. You don't have to turn around and clean your brush or anything, but you want all down here to be a lighter blue color. Okay, notice in all my paintings when we do the snow, I don't make complete. Thank you. You're adding red to make it lavender blue, and it what? Yeah, no. Periwinkle doesn't have any red tones in it. It's got grayish tones in it. So that was the problem. But that's okay. Live and learn, right? You probably got some really pretty purples doing that. Got some really pretty purples doing that. So notice when I do my snow, I don't make my snow white. In my paintings, if you guys noticed that in the last couple of Christmas paintings we've been doing, I always make my snow have a bluish color to it, because as you put items in, a lot of you had that with the polar bear. You know, I said, because our instinct, right, in our brains tell us that snow is white, right? That's what our brains tell us. Okay, but in all actuality, when you're painting snow, you don't want to make it white, white, white. And that's why you guys were having trouble with your polar bears. Because immediately your brain was telling you to make your Snow White. Snow White, ha ha, Snow White and the 7 elves. And then when you went to paint your polar bear, you couldn't see him. You couldn't see him. So, that lesson learned, right? Don't make your snow white, 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 white. Add blue, add black to it. Make it to where it's got blue tones to it. Because if I made this snow white, 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 See, in my original, it's blue snow. You would not see the white on all the trees would get lost. It'd get lost in the painting. So you don't want to turn around and have that happen. A lot of you messaged me and you were having issues with your polar bears. And the issue was, that was last week's painting, I believe. The issue is that your snow was too white. Snow White and the Seven Elves. All right, so those are the things you have to pay attention to. So, this came out a little lighter than I wanted because I was doing some coverage. So I'm going to swirl tap dab my brush. I'm going to swirl tap dab my brush, and I'm going to grab blue and black to make this sky darker. Plus, I want to blend it more because we have the northern lights. So I don't want that much separation of color up here because it's going to be, it'll be too busy having the northern lights up here. So I want to blend it out more. So I'm just grabbing blue and black right now. Look at the shine off of my brush. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's one clean brush right there. You guys like that? Anyway, so I'm going to go, here's halfway. I'm going to go above halfway because we need to leave room, right? We got trees, Santa, 8 reindeer. We got to make sure we have enough space to put that all in. So I'm going to go above halfway, and I'm grabbing blue and black, and I'm going to make my sky even darker. And I'm just going to pull across like this, right? Not really going to stress this line too much. It is soft snow. You can even just have it blend together if you want to. And I'm grabbing blue and black now. And I want a nice, dark, rich sky that is more blended. So we're going to just keep grabbing blue and black. All right. Grabbing the blue, grabbing the black. And making this sky darker and more blended. So the more I go over it, the more I brush back and forth over it, the more the colors are going to blend together. All right, so that is what I'm doing because I want this sky to be nice and dark so you can see the northern lights over it. So there's lots of ways to do the northern lights. One way is, which I've shown you guys, is to put the color under the black. Right, so I'm putting blue with this black, right? Even though you're like, Eve, why are you even doing that? You can't see, you know, it just looks black to me. You can't see the blue. Well, because there is a trick. There's a trick you can do, and if you do it with your paint still wet, I'll show you the trick, but then I'm going to show you the other ways to do the northern lights. So the trick is, right, you got this blue underpainting underneath your black. And if I grab a microscopic amount of white paint on the tip of my brush and I pull down, you're going to see these blue colors pop out. So you can do your northern lights like that if you want to, having the underpainting under your black. And the same trick works if you want to turn around and have it be, if you put red under your black, if you put red under the black and then you grab the white paint, you'll actually get the red coming through. Okay, so that is one trick on how to put the lights in. You can play around with that if you want. All I did was grab, my paint was still wet. And I can't do my northern lights, all of my northern lights like this because my paint's not going to stay wet enough to do them all. Plus, I want to show you another way of doing them. But that little trick, basically, you just take the smallest little amount of white paint on your brush, and with your paint still wet, you can turn around and get those colors to come through. All right, so I'm going to grab some more blue, I'm going to grab some more black, and right here, I'm going to define this line better between my land and my sky. One if by land, two if by sea. And if you notice, I'm just pulling across here. The faster I pull, the straighter it's going to be. And again, I don't want to make it too far down because I got to leave room for all the stuff that we've got going on, right? Got to leave room for all that stuff that's going on. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a chance to catch up. Mustard time. People were popping on and saying hello. So let me get them onto roll call here. Also, let's see who popped on. We got Gail is here and Debbie is here. Hello, 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 Gail. Hello, 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 Debbie. So we got Gail and Debbie. 6,000%. Let me share all my links with you guys. Get that out of the way. All right, as you guys are putting your backgrounds on. So let's see what we got. I'm going to press buttons. So we got all my replays are always, 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 always available on YouTube. Bam. So there's my YouTube channel. All of my works are for sale. You can find that through my website, www.evesartistry.com, or on my Etsy page. So I'm going to share the link to my Etsy page is right there. And let's see. So, and I do this all through support. I don't ever charge to watch my videos and watch my lives and watch the replays. There's no charge on anything, people. So it's stars is enabled. And I also have Venmo, I have PayPal, and I have Cash App. So, if you could find it in your little fingers to show a little generosity and send some support, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you to the ladies that participated in Dollar Day. That was very sweet of you. I know it was Tina. I know it was I think a Debbie and a Trish's Lockets or something. Like it was a handful of you. I meant to. I'm sorry. I apologize. I meant to write it down, and I didn't write it down. So but anyway, you ladies. It's always, you know, you guys warm my heart. You all send support, and it seems to be the same handful of women, and thank you for that. I really do appreciate that. Like I said, you guys keep the lights on, so thank you. And somebody just sent stars, so you're awesome. Who was that? Gail just sent stars. Thank you so much, Gail. I really appreciate that. 6,000%. And Kimberly is here. Hi, Kimberly. How are you doing, sweetie? Hello, Kimberly. How are you doing? And thank you so much for the stars, Gail. Those of you wondering about the stars, on my end, they're about a penny each. On your end, I think they cost a little bit more to purchase because, you know, Facebook has to take its cut. And the same with the PayPals and the Venmos and all that. And if you send me, some things are going to change in the new year, but if you send me at least $3 worth of tips, I send you Mr. Nifties for free. Okay? So, as a thank you to you guys, because they're really nifty and they come in handy, and you guys get a pair of your own for anybody who sends me support. It has to be a $3 minimum just because of postage. So, basically, yeah, the postage is nuts. Anyway, all that talk aside, got it all out. Commercial over. I did all the business links. I talked all about the good stuff. You know, the website, all that happy stuff. All that happy stuff. So we are good now. Okay, so what you want to do is we got to start these trees. Right? Because we're going to be working on these trees for like forever. Now, so these are a few layers going on. Okay? These are a few layers going on. Just like everything else. But those are definitely a few layers going on. So what you want to do is I'm going to take Tiny. And you're basically going to have a ton of fun just mixing all your colors together. Alright? So in my original, my trees are blue. They're black, not black, they're blue, they're green, they're white, they're turquoise. So basically, all I did was I grabbed blue and I grabbed white And, you know, I have that on my brush, right? And I'm going to come back here, and as small as you possibly, humanly possibly can, you're just going to do little mini strokes like that. Maybe close up, as tiny as you possibly humanly can. You're going to do all these little flickies, okay? So this is Flicky Do-A-Rama. I don't know if Jill's on here or not. And then you want to dip your brush into more paint. So I'm grabbing blue, I'm grabbing white, I'm grabbing some yellow now, right? Do a little dab of that. And I'm going to do flickies with that color. Okay? And you're not adding any, you know, you're not making them white yet. This is only the base coat. So basically, I'm playing with dipping my brush into blue, yellow, and some white. See, I have a happy little pile here of all little sorts of stuff mixed together. And I am just making sure that my colors come out different with each little layer. Okay, so this way I can tell the difference between the different trees. And I can tell the difference just by changing their color up a little bit. Alright, that's how I could tell the difference. Okay, and then every once in a while you want to give your brush a swirl tap dab. So you can turn around and have these be different colors, right? So I'm literally just playing with that pile. I'm going to wipe my brush off now because they're all starting to mush together. So I'm wiping my brush off. I'm going to grab blue on my palette. I'm going to grab some white on my palette, get a nice light blue color. Hello, Kimberly. And do a layer of blue one right here. Okay, so you're going to add all these in as tiny as you could possibly get them on both sides. All right, on both sides. Okay, so as tiny as you possibly can get them on both sides, and in all different colors, just like I said before. Blue, white, yellow, whatever floats your boat. You don't want them to be white yet. That's going to come later on. You want the colors to remain very soft and muted tones for now. We're getting the darks in. Okay, so you're going to put these in. And you're going to stop. You're going to stop so you have the opening right here. Right? Where Santa is and the reindeer are and all that good stuff. So you want to stop when you get far enough across so you don't wind up closing that big opening up. So basically, I'm going to go across this way. Again, as tiny as you possibly can. You're just making this row. You're just making this row. And between the yellow, the white, and the blue, you're just going to create all these different colors. Just by kerplunking your brush into different things. Okay? Kerplunking your brush into different things. And thank you so much for the stars, Brenda. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So, and literally, I'm just doing a flick back and forth. So, I'm going to turn around and, I'm going to leave this opening. So, if I find my center, find my center, right? And then I have the same amount of space on both sides. So, I would say leave this opening bigger than what you want it to be, because as we're playing, these tree areas are probably going to get really big. Because the amount of layers and the amount that we're playing, they're going to, it's going to wind up getting bigger. Brenda making an entrance with those stars. Hello, Brenda. How are you doing, sweetie? I'm interested to see how you go rogue with this painting. 6,000%. And is little man painting with you tonight? I can give a shout out to him. And so let me give you a close-up of what I did here. Okay, so row 1. Row 1. All right. And let's see. We have We have been sick with the flu, just starting to feel better. We're behind and can't wait. What? Oh, Brenda, that's okay. No worries, lovey. Healing prayers and wishes for Brenda, everybody, and the family. Have to go, Eve. Catch you on replay. Have a good evening, everyone. Tried to send stars again and still can't. That's all right, Elizabeth. You'll figure it out. You figured it out last time. That's hysterical. Thank you so much for the thought. Brenda, healing wishes and prayers to you and your family. Being sick sucks. My daughter is sick right now. So, she's adulting and has her own life, but it still kills me because there's like nothing I can do for her. Okay. So, while we're waiting for that, all right, I'm going to swirl tap dab big boy. All right, and I'm going to, the more I swirl, the cleaner he's going to get because he has a lot of blue and black left in him. He has a lot of blue and black left in him. So you have a great night, Elizabeth. And no worries, Brenda. Just relax. That's why I make the replays always available. I got to swirl big boy some more. We're just swirling over here. Swirling, 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 tapping and dabbing, all that good stuff. Okay, so Northern Lights. All right, so my brush is nice and clean. I want to turn around and I'm gonna dip my brush. So this is what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I know, Brenda. 'Tis the season. Everybody gets sick around this time. I think it's the stress. All right, so I'm gonna dip my brush into my water. I'm gonna tap it, and I'm gonna dab the excess drips onto my paper towel. So now my brush has more water in it than what I've been using. Okay, and that being said, I'm going to go into my white paint and I'm going to pull some white paint on the side here just to get a little bit on the tip of my brush. See that? Okay, and it's kind of see-through because of all that water. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my brush up against my canvas, right? I'm going to hold my brush kind of back here. I'm going to put it straight on. We're going to do it horizontally, right? The bristles. And you're just going to pull. You're just going to pull, okay? Now, if you need to make yourself a line to follow, right? I'm holding my brush back here. I'm going to pull across. All right, I'm going to do a drop down right here. Boop. Pull across. Right. Maybe do a little wiggle action. And then over on this side, right, so I'm going to make this the largest area. I'm going to do that little drop down. Bring it across. Do that little wiggle action. And now with the very thin white paint, I'm going to just pull in between those two lines. Notice I didn't grab any more paint yet. I didn't grab any more paint yet. Okay, I am still working with my original amount of paint and water. Alright, still working with that. I didn't grab any more paint. Now, I'm going to grab a little bit more paint. Okay, again, run it across my brush. Small, small, small amount. Just on the tip of the brush. Alright, I'm going to start here because I want this to be the brightest area where this fold over is. Okay, so I'm going to start there because that's going to be a bright area for me. Right? And then I'm going to come over here. Maybe this is a bright area. And then as it gets softer and softer, I'm going to pull these down. So, faster you pull, the straighter it's going to be. Okay? So there we go. Now we got to put in our second ribbon of where our second ribbon is going. Alright, so same deal. Let me swirl, tap, dab my brush. I'm going to do a little tap. I'm going to do a little get the excess drips out of him, right? Just by doing this. Leave them nice and wet. And we got to put the second ribbon in. So we're going to put the second ribbon in. Okay, I'm going to grab the white paint just the way I did before. Nice and liquidy and wet. And hardly can see it. See how it's all watery? Okay, let's put in our second ribbon. I'm going to hold my brush back here. I'm going to pull down at an angle. I'm going to do a couple wiggle doos. Alright, some wiggly doos. And off the canvas. And then I have to do, come back. Right, making them thinner on this end. Follow that wiggly do. Right, put a piece here. Bring it up there. Okay. And now that I have where I want it to go, now I'm going to pull down. I'm going to pull down with my white. And what I want to do is I want this to be a fold over, so I'm going to make this a little wider up here and a little lighter. Alright, so I grab more paint just so this is a little brighter. Okay, cleaning up my edge a little bit. This is where I want a fold over to be, so I want that a little brighter. Alright, 6,000%. And then we could just fill in the rest. Okay, we can just fill in the rest. And you want this to be see-through. Okay, you want this to be see-through. Now, I'm giving mine like really exact edges, just because I like it that way. You don't have to. You can leave an open edge on it. It would probably look a little more realistic if you did leave an open edge on it. I'm giving mine, like if you notice, I'm framing out my edges like this, right? And then I'm going in between there and pulling, so it's giving a hard edge. If you want it to look a little more realistic, don't frame out your edge. Just leave these flickadoo areas, these little pieces, leave them like this. Leave them like that so they're bleeding into the sky. So if you want a more realistic looking Northern Lights, okay, so we have the hard edge, which I'm doing, and then you could do the soft edge, and that'll actually make it look more realistic if you do the soft edge, okay? But it's your creation, it's your choice. You can make it any way you want. I'm a little bit of a control freak. I want the hard edge. It's my Northern Lights. I'm gonna do what I want to do. All right, you guys do what you want to do with your Northern Lights. I'm gonna do what I want to do with my Northern Lights. That's all there is to it, people. All there is to it. And I want mine to have a hard edge. I want mine to have a hard edge. That's all there is to it. Alright, so now I'm just playing. You know, I grabbed a little bit more white on my brush, and I made this area a little brighter over here. I'm taking my brush with no paint on it. I'm softening this all out. Okay, so soft, 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 very small amount of paint. Soft edge or hard edge, it's totally up to you. Hello, Bonnie. How you doing, sweetheart? Hello, 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 Bonnie. Okay, and that being done, we need our second layer of trees, okay? So, I'm grabbing Tiny again. Let me give you a close-up. Close-up! I love doing that. It's probably really obnoxious on your end, but I love doing that, and I will probably never stop doing that. So, again, I'm going into my fun pile of colors here, right? And I'm coming onto my trees here. And now these are just going to be a little bigger and further down. Okay, a little bigger and further down. And you want to make, obviously, you want to make your tree a different color than what's behind it. Okay, you want to make your tree a different color than the colors that are behind it. So this way, you can see it. Alright, so I'm going to add, now these trees are a little bit bigger, and their tips are further down. I'm going to do a dark one so you can see what I'm doing and talking about. So there's a really dark one right there. Alright, so I'm just doing little mini flicks, and you're going to put in your second layer of trees. And like I said, just make your colors be different than the tree that's behind it. Okay? Just make your colors be different than the tree that's behind it. And these trees are going to be a little bit bigger than the trees that are your first set of trees. Hello, 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 Marie. Marie, how are you, sweetheart? Alright, so we have that. Okay, and I got to do the other side. Hello, 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 Marie, Marie. And somebody else popped on too. Elizabeth's got to go. Bonnie and Marie, Marie. Hello, 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 Bonnie. How are you, sweetie? Hello, 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 Marie, Marie. Yes, being sick stinks. You know, when your kid's sick, it's even, I think, you know, when your kid's sick, I think it's even worse. Because when your kid's sick, it's like, you know that they're not loving life right now, and you can't do anything for them. And that bothers me probably worse, like, than me being sick. When my kid's sick, it's like, ugh. Because, especially when they're like a little baby, right? If there's like a little baby that's sick, I can't handle it. I can't handle it because you can't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, here's some soup, you know, that seems just so inadequate. Because you don't want that, you know, you never want your kids to suffer, you know what I mean? And it just breaks my heart. It really does just break my heart. So, yeah, so everybody that's kind of feeling the bug out there and not feeling so well, I hope you all, I'm sending you all healing wishes and prayers, and hopefully, you know, you get it out of your system, and then you can enjoy your holidays, and then everybody's going to be sick after. Everyone's going to be sick after the holidays because of the stress. That's all that's going to happen there. That's what's going to happen there. Oh, yeah, 6,000%. Okay, so we've got our next row of trees here. All right. So what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to, I'm just going to do the one side of the trees for the purposes of this video. Because if I do both sides and then do both sides with detail, we're going to be here forever. Forever. Like forever. Like wear a fur coat forever. Because that original, it took a minute. I'm not going to lie. It took a while. Alright? So, and I don't think you guys want to sit here for 3 days watching me do flicky-do trees. You don't need me to. I'm going to show you how to do them, and I'm going to show you how to make them closer and closer. But I think I'm just going to do the one side of the trees. But you do the same thing on both sides. And if I'm moving too slow, right, you just keep adding layer and layer of trees. So as this dries, you make your next layer, and they're a little bit bigger. And then they're a little bit bigger, and then they're a little bit bigger as you work your way down. All right? So if you're waiting on me to show you something, just keep filling in your trees, all right? But let them dry in between filling them in. Because if you don't let it dry, you're going to wind up with a big mushy mess, okay? So you definitely have to let it dry in between layers, 6,000%. All right, that being said, let's start our Santa sleigh and our reindeer. So you guys noticed that on the event page, I showed you how to Google reindeer silhouettes for yourself. Okay? If you did that, great. If you didn't, that's fine. I'm going to show you the ones I did. All right? And I'm going to break it into shapes, and I'm going to do all that happy stuff for you. So don't stress it. All right? And everything in my original painting is extremely tiny. So I'm going to make things a little bit bigger so you can see what I'm doing. Because let me show you that original again, all right? We're beyond tiny with this original. You see how tiny that is? Do you see? Look. It's like Santa is the size of my fingertip. His head is smaller than my finger. Okay? So I'm going to make them a little bit bigger. You guys go as tiny as you want to go. Hi, Nikki. You're doing laundry? You want to come do my laundry, Nikki? Would you like to come do my laundry? I'm leaving on my trip on Sunday, guys. I'm going on a cruise with Mom. Thank you, Mom, for getting like a deal and a half. So Eve's actually going to get a little bit of a vacation in. And I'm going on the trip. I'm leaving on Sunday, so there's no paint party next Friday. All right, I'll take lots of pictures and I'll share with you guys, but there's no paint party next Friday. And then when I come back, the following Friday, you have too much of your own. The following Friday is going to be the Jack painting, okay? And then we have one more Friday before Christmas. I'm already working on that painting, and it's not finished yet, so it's going to be a surprise. So look for that masterpiece montage. All right, I'm grabbing Mini-Me, and I'm going to put the shape of my sled in. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to make... Now, I'm going to move this down because there is 2 deer. Right, there's one here and there's one here behind the sleigh. So you want to move it down and make sure you have enough room for those deer to be. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make an L. All right, I'm using Mini-Me and I'm using white paint. So I'm going to make an L. Okay, and but I hope you have a great time on your trip. Awesome, have fun. I went on to one to Bermuda. It was beautiful. Yeah, we're going to Port Canaveral, Royal Caribbean's, Coco Cay, and Nassau, Bahamas. So it was the exact same route that I did last year. But it is my only second cruise ever. And it's funny because in February I'm going with my daughter and my mom and my sister. And we're doing the exact same ports again. So I'll be on 3 cruises in my entire life going to the exact same places. But that's right. There's plenty to do. And I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. Okay, once I have my L, all right, I'm going to do a hook right here. All right, I'm going to hook that around. And then I'm going to come over here and do a smaller hook on this side. Okay. And then we're going to turn around and you're going to follow this around and make it a little thicker on the inside part. Okay, and then this space right here is where Santa's feet are going to be. So you just want to make that a little thicker right there. Okay, so you're going to make that a little thicker right there. Bring that in. That's awesome. So much. Yeah, it's going to be, yeah, I'm going to soak in as much vitamin D as I possibly can. All right, once we have that, from here to here, you're going to do a squiggle do. Okay, so I'm going to follow this around, and I'm going to bump it out again, and then bring it down. Okay, so there is the shape of your sled. And once that dries, you can color it in any color you want. And then for the sled pieces, right? Now, move your hand, not the brush, right? To do your straight line. So I'm going to move my hand, not the brush. And I'm going to put a line underneath my sled now. Okay. And then I'm going to turn around and hook this side up. And I'm going to hook this side up. And then I'm going to take Mr. Nifty. I'm going to take Mr. Nifty and put some white paint on him. And I'm going to do little brackets underneath. Okay, that have a little bit of a curly Q to them. And then I'm going to do a little bit of a curly Q on the tip here. Okay. And a little curl on this tip here. All right, and then that's your sleigh right there, guys. I'll give you a close-up. So, yeah, so I'm leaving Sunday. Close-up. I'm leaving Sunday, and then I'll be back the following Sunday. And like I said, I'm going to soak up as much vitamin D as possible. And we're going to all the different ports. I'm going to be riding a dune buggy through Gatorland. So if I don't come back, I got eaten by an alligator. My mom and I are going to go on a speedboat. Now she's 83, 84, and we're going to be doing a speedboat. And we're going to see a pirate show. So that all sounds like a lot of fun to me. Okay, so back to the trees. Like I said, I'm only going to do one side for the sake of time. You guys do the same exact thing on both sides. All right, so now we're doing the next row, and you're just making them bigger. And like I said, you just make them different colors than the tree that's behind it. And again, I'm playing with my happy little blue, yellow, and white pile here. So then this row, we're just making them a little bit bigger. Okay. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you so much for that. And, yeah, so they have like a pirate ship. And I guess there's people that dress up like pirates. And they're going to do a pirate show. So, yeah, my mom, as it like cruises the harbor, and then you have these people that are dressed up like pirates, and they do the show. So it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. On TikTok, I follow this gentleman that is does a cosplay of a pirate on TikTok. So like, yeah, I like the whole pirate thing. It's fun to me. I watched all the Pirates of the Caribbean with Jack Sparrow and the gentleman that I watch on TikTok. He dresses up like Jack Sparrow. So I've always loved Johnny Depp, right? So I've loved Johnny Depp ever since 21 Jump Street. I'm totally dating myself there. So yeah, I'm into the pirate thing. It's something that I like. Now, as I'm doing these and I'm getting bigger and closer, now I'm kind of sneaking in these little guys. See that little blue guy I put in there that he's really like thin and skinny? Okay, so I'm filling in these spaces that are being made just because that they're bigger. These spaces are getting made right here. So I'm filling in those spaces with little guys. Okay, so that's how this gets to look nice and full. So, so wherever these spaces are, you just go in and you just fill in another one. Again, make sure they're different colors. You just fill in that space with like another little tree. Okay, so let me make that darker so you can see what I did. All right, I'm going to wipe off my brush. So you're going to put your bigger tree in, and then you're going to fill in those spaces. Okay, so if you put your bigger tree in and you wind up with a big space, you just fill it in with a more skinny, a more skinny tree. Yep, that's my English for tonight, and that's what it's going to be. So that's what's going on. Okay, so as you're putting these in, if you wind up with a big space in between them, just put a skinnier tree in that space. Okay, and like I said, you're going to do this on both sides. All right, there you go. All right, now I'm going to turn around, and obviously the more coats of white you put on things, the better they're going to look. I'm going to turn around and take Tiny, swirl, tap, dab them. I'm going to grab some black and some white, make a gray, and I'm going to fill in my sled piece here. Okay, so because you don't really have to worry about putting another layer of white on here, because the gray is going to have enough coverage to it. It has white in it, so no worries there. So I just want to make my sled part gray while I'm looking at it. All right, and don't get lazy. Grab that smaller brush when you get to the tiny parts. I'm a culprit of that, right? I like to, see, I did it with the thicker brush on that side, so it wasn't tiny anymore. I'm definitely a culprit of that. Like, let's see how much I can do with this one brush that is totally not adequate for what I'm trying to do, but heaven forbid I grab another brush to do what I'm trying to do. Let's just kind of try to make it happen with the brush that's in my hand. And then we wonder why it's screwy. Well, because you didn't bother to grab the brush that you're supposed to grab. So, did I just want to do this whole sled with Tiny and not grab Nifty? Absolutely. Absolutely I did. But, if you take the time to grab the brush that you're supposed to grab, you're going to get better results. Just saying. Just giving you a heads up. That's all. Just giving you a heads up that that's how that works out for you. Okay, so I gotta grab something to drink. We're doing a lot of talking. I'm doing a lot of talking because that's what I do. We got some roll call to do. I'm gonna grab my soda and 6,000%. We got some Northern Lights to put in. We got some reindeers to map out. We got layers of trees to do. So, lots and lots and lots of fun things that we're going to take care of. And it's Flicky-Doo-Rama. I'm surprised Jill isn't here because she's my Flicky-Doo queen. But we have Sharon and Marcia and Tina B and Joan and Joanne and Elizabeth and Amanda and Jackie and Becky and Carolyn. 2 Carolyns. Abby's new to the fam. Liz is here, new to the fam. Cindy and Gail and Debbie and Kimberly and Brenda and Bonnie and Marie and Nikki are all in the house. Are all in the house. Oh, yeah. Chilling like a villain. Okay, so, our deer, our reindeer. Let's do... Hi, Jimmy Gale. How are you doing, sweetie? How do you get the... Hi, Terry. How do you get the comments off? For my phone is an Android, you just slide it. You just slide it to like the left or the right. I'm not sure on the other phones. So hello, Terry. Abby, Mama Duty calls, but you'll continue on the replay. Okay, Abby, you have an awesome night. Hi, Jimmy Gale. How are you doing, sweetie? You're doing good. Hope you have a wonderful trip. Thank you. Haha, Joanne, that's okay. Hi, sweetie. How are you? We got 3 Joannes tonight. No, we got a Joan and a Joanne. You're the second Joanne. You got caught up in doing your own thing. That's all right. That's cool. That's what painting's supposed to do. Right? 6,000%. All right, so we need our first deer. So I'm going to grab Tiny. And I'm going to add some water to my white because my white is like super thick right now. And it was giving me trouble on the sled. I don't know if you guys noticed that. So I'm adding drips of white to it to loosen it up. Because it's thick, baby. Oh, yeah, it's thick. Okay, so the one reindeer silhouette. All right, I'm grabbing Tiny and I'm grabbing my looser, thin white paint now so it flows better for me. Because it was giving me trouble. I don't know if you guys noticed, like, it's kind of thick and not as smooth. That's because my paint was too thick and not as smooth. All right, so what you want to do for these reindeer silhouettes is we're going to start off with the body. All right, so this guy's up here somewhere. So we're going to start off with the body. We're going to make a rounded rectangle. All right, and then off of that rounded rectangle, you're going to do a little mini swoop upwards. And then you're going to do a swoop back like this. Okay. Then you're going to make a rounded triangle. Then you're going to add his ear. And then, oh, you got it? Good, Sherry. I'm glad. I'm glad you got it to work, hon. I'm going to wipe off my brush, right? Because globs on your brush means globs on your painting. And then once you add his ear in, you can just wiggle do in some antlers here. Okay, wiggle and do some antlers, right? If you need to make his nose a little more pointy. Okay. And then his legs. Okay, we're going to turn around and we're going to follow this down and put a leg right there. Thicken up the top part. Then right next to it, you're going to put a leg right there. You're going to add his tail. And then the front leg, you're going to follow this across. You're going to pull outwards. And you're going to do a little bend. Right? Very small movements. Very small. Make everything very small. as you're doing this, and then you're going to thicken the top part. Because you can always fill and fix and adjust it later. Like, see how this leg is super skinny and stuff? So I can fix that just by adding a little more paint to it. But I want to start off small because you can always add paint. You can't take paint away, you know what I mean? Well, you can, but it's annoying. And then this little sharp edge right there, just round that out. And then the other leg is coming out and then down this way. Okay, and then I'm just going to thicken the top of that. And his little paws, boop, 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 boop. There is deer number 1. Deer number 1. Okay. So, I'm wiping off my brush. I'm getting some smooth white paint. And I'm going to do deer number 2 on the other side. Okay, so, and if I'm moving a little quickly and you miss doing a deer, that's okay. You can always add them in later. You know what I mean? So, don't stress it if I'm moving too fast. All right, so again, rounded triangle at an angle. Rectangle. So rounded rectangle at an angle. Again, start off small. Tina B, you suck at tiny details. You stink at tiny details, so you're not going to do the deer. That's all good, sweetheart. All right, I'm going to follow this rounded triangle up, put his neck. On the other side, gonna round that out for his neck. I'm gonna put his rounded triangle head in. His ear. Wipe my brush off. Grab some more loose white paint. Squiggly do some antlers. I'm going to follow back around here, put his one leg in. I'll follow here, put his other leg in. I'll put his 2 front legs in, right? Those come out like this, and do one of those. And another one up here. Put in his tail. Swoop. And now that I have where the legs are going, now I'm going to just thicken up the top parts of them. Right, and we need a little pause. Doot, doot, doot. And the sled is hiding the other paw. So, you know, as you're playing with this, if you put a second coat of white on your sled, when you go to color your sled in, it's going to pop more. All right, so as you're playing with this white paint and your small brush, you can put this all, you can put your second coat of white on your sled. It will make your sled pop more when it's time to color it in. Okay, while we're playing with the sled, we might as well put Santa in. All right, so I'm going to swirl, tap, dab my brush. Santa, right, make his little head. And I'm going to add some red to my white so you can see what I'm doing. So make his little head, and then we're going to bring this down to his body, then his legs. his hat. His arm. Approximately how big in inches are one of these deer? That's my thumb. That is my thumb, doll. And then they're going to get bigger and bigger as you move further down. But the ones that are back here, that's how big they are. They're about the size of my thumb. So we're talking small. Now I'm going to grab some black paint and I'm going to put in the bag of toys. So 1.5, yeah, I'd say that, about 1.5 inches big, something like that. Okay, we gotta let Santa, well, I don't think my tip of my thumb is 2.5 inches big. I think it's 1 inch big. So that's about, this is about 1 inch. So yeah, 2 to 3 inches would actually be my finger. So that's 1 to 2. So we're talking about 1.5 inches. And then the other ones, as you work your way down, are going to get bigger and bigger. Right? I'm going to grab tiny. I'm going to grab yellow. I'm going to grab red. I'm going to grab white. I'm going to make a peach. And I want to color in Santa's head. Okay, and then Santa's got to dry so we can add more of his details. You guys can color your sleigh in any color you want. We're going to do another layer of trees, and then we're going to work on the northern lights, because you guys are probably like, oh my gosh, Tinyville, I can't take it anymore. So let's do another layer of trees. Again, you're getting bigger as you move forward, all right? So, and again, playing with my happy little pile of blue, yellow, and white. All right, and now you could start holding your brush further back to do bigger flicky-doos. Okay, so now your trees are getting bigger and bigger as you move further up. Again, just make sure they're a different color than the trees that are behind them. Flicky-doo, flicky-doo, we're a flicky-dooing. This is flicky-doo mania going on here. In fact, I'm going to grab Mini-Me, because I'm killing that tiny right now. So I'm going to grab Mini-Me. I'm like destroying that tiny as I'm flicky-dooing, because I'm like, it's not holding enough paint for me, and I'm pushing on it to get more paint out of it, and let's not do that. So now we're gonna go into some bigger trees. Right, overlap them, fill in those spaces. If you want to throw some skinny ones in there, you could throw some skinny ones in there. But as we're working our way down, Our trees are going to get bigger and bigger. And guys, this painting is, there's a lot of little details to it, like the deer and, you know, like these trees and everything else. So if you were planning on being done with this painting in the couple hours it's taken me to teach you, no. It's a no. It's just not going to happen. No. You're going to be working on it for a little bit. But it's going to be worth it because it looks really cool. Okay? So, but a little heads up there, guys. So if I'm moving too fast or if there's something you ain't getting, woosah it out and leave it alone. Alright? Because you guys are going to be painting your little fingers off after I'm long gone. Alright? For the coloring, for the details, for the flicky, all that. You're filling that all in. And getting creative with that, picking your colors for your reindeer, picking out how you want to decorate your sled, you know, all of that good stuff. So that's going to be all on you. All right. Because you guys you don't need me to color. You might think you need me to color, but you don't need me to color. And you don't need me to show you the 150th flicky do that's on this painting. You don't need me to do that either. So, don't stress if you're falling behind right now, all right? Because this is an adventure, and you're gonna be able to go in and fill this stuff in accordingly. So if you're trying to like rush through, you knew that, right, Joanne? Looks like they're playing reindeer games. Where is Rudolph? You need me to color? Hello, Cindy. How are you doing, sweetie? No, you know, I was debating whether to put Rudolph in this painting. But, you knew that already, Joanne? Well, I'm glad you knew that already. You need me to color, Nikki? You don't need me to color. Stop. Stop the madness. You don't need me to color. All right. Woo, let's woosah it out. Way too many tiny things. Let's do our Northern Lights. 6,000%. And then we'll get back to our silhouettes and our trees. And then you guys are going to have everything you need to be able to do this painting. Cheers, everybody. So, for the Northern Lights, you want to make sure you have clean, crisp colors, right? Clean blue, clean red. All that good stuff. I did one that was a single band of colors, and I did one that was a double band of colors. So, it's up to you. It's up to you, you know, if you want to do the multicolored lights, or if you want to do just the single band of colors of lights. All right, you need to swirl tap that, big boy. Because we're going to go in. You need to swirl tap that, big boy. Make sure he's nice and clean. Let me do some roll call. Woosah it out. Woo! Breathe. Right? We're going to go do something bigger, and then we're going to fill in our deer. And Carolyn, the tiniest deer are about an inch, inch and a half. And then you get to the bigger deer, which are closer to 2 inches, okay? So they do get bigger as we move down. So don't stress it. We got Joanne in the house, and Sharon, and Marsha, and Tina B, and Joan, and Joanne, and Elizabeth, and Amanda, and Jackie. Becky, and Carolyn, and Terry, and Abby, and Liz, and Cindy, and Gail, and Debbie, and Kimberly, Brenda, Bonnie, Marie, Nikki, Jimmy, Gail. That was starting to sound like everybody except Rudolph. Yeah, you guys can add a Rudolph if you want. I was really debating adding a Rudolph. I actually have a Rudolph painting from last year. It's a painting of Rudolph being in the stable and Santa talking to him. So, if you guys want a Rudolph painting for this year, that is definitely on my YouTube channel. I think it's called Guide My Sleigh Tonight. So, you can always look that up. You could always add an extra reindeer and make him Rudolph, right? You just give him a nice bright red nose. All right, nice clean big boy, nice clean paint. Again, we're gonna, one pine tree for everyone painting. Oh, absolutely. This will take about a week to finish. It's a labor of love. It is. Dee Dee. Hi, Dee Dee. How are you doing, honey? Dee Dee's watching. Dee Dee's in the house. Joan, I'm not surprised about that week to finish painting. My original, the original took me probably that amount of time. Okay? See? So, you see all the detail in there? So, I wouldn't be surprised. It's definitely one of those zone out paintings. You kind of just zone out and you fill it in and it's all that happy stuff. So you're going to do your brush the same way you did the white. Dip it in. Take off the excess drips. You want your paint to be extra thin. All right. I'm going to go into my red. See how it's kind of see-through on my brush? I'm going to go and grab a microscopic amount of white. See how it's kind of see-through on my brush? I'm going to do a little dab. See how it's kind of see-through on my palette? Okay, and that's all by putting excess water on your brush. And you're very simply, these are really nice and simple and soft. You're going to do the same thing you did with the white. And you're just going to drop the color in. So it's really fun. It's really satisfying. It's really easy to do. Some people looked at the Northern Lights and thought that was going to be the hard part. No, the hard part is the tininess, and the hard part is the trusting that the journey is worth it. So I just grabbed some more paint, right? And I'm going to make this area a little brighter. So I grabbed a little extra white. Again, it's up to you if you want the finished edges or the open edges. They're your Northern Lights. Do them the way you want to do them. All right, I'm going to flicky from the bottom and press my brush in a little bit. All right, so I'm putting my brush on here, and then I'm pressing it in. See how it has that little curve? And then pulling upwards. And then you have to leave it alone. The more you play with these, the more solid they're going to get. And their Northern Lights aren't solid. They're see-through. They're bands of light in the sky. They're really pretty. But if you keep painting on them, or if your paint is too thick, if you're not watering it down, like to the watering it down, you're going to lose the see-through. You're going to lose the see-through, especially since you're working with white paint, because white paint wants to block out the color that's behind it. So, I decided to give the flicky-do edges. I changed my mind. I changed my mind on having the hardcore edge. So I am just flicking these edges outwards. I'm allowed to do that. It's my painting. I'm allowed to change my mind. So you can see it both ways. This is the clean edge. That's the flicky-do edge. It's completely up to you. Alright, how you want to make these, I'll show you both. For this piece right in here, where I'm creating the fold over, I'm going to grab extra red on my brush. And I'm just going to make this area darker. a darker color. Okay, that's the, these are the unfinished edges on this side. Okay, and then I'm going to just feed this in, right? Do a little back and forth movement to make this nice and soft. All right, again, my paint is super, super thinned out, super wet. All right, you can do some flicky-doos of the darker color into your lights. All right, I'm going to grab just the red paint again, right on the tip of my brush. And I'm going to flicky-do the red into this. All right, just pressing my brush onto the canvas and putting in these really pretty stripes of the darker color. All right, and like I said, if you want the finished edge, you just follow the line you made before. If you want the open edges, you just flicky-do right out of the open edge. All right, so that is the red one. I'm going to swirl, tap, dab my brush. I'll show you the... Hi, April. How are you doing? Debbie, you like it the second way? You like it with the open edges on it? Yeah. Yeah, it's all personal choice. Hi, April. That's why I'm showing you both ways. So you guys can do it either way you want. The open... The flicked edge, this edge right here, looks a little more realistic, I guess. So it is personal choice, guys. It's however you want to do your lights. So I am swirl, tap, dabbing Big Boy. And I'm going to turn around and do my blue again. Yes, the opened edge, right? Yeah, I hear you, honey. Yeah, I can't wait to see you guys in 2 weeks, you posting your paintings that you finished. So, anyway, excess water on my brush again. Okay, I'm going into the blue now. I'm going to grab my blue. See how liquidy that is? See how it's see-through? Okay, and I'm going to grab a little bit of white. I hear you, April. The open edges do look more realistic. Yes, Carolyn. So that is, you know, so, right? There's my brush. Okay. This is going to be one of my brightest areas, so I'm going to do that first. And I am just going to flicky-do downwards because I'm making this a double band with green. So we're going to flicky-do downwards. All right. And like I said, it is personal choice whether you have the open edge or the closed edge. You're painting your world. All right, I'm going to grab more blue because I have this fold over right here. Hi, Carol. How are you doing, honey? So April popped on and we got Carol in the house. Hello, 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 guys. I'm with you, April. But I have my trip, and then I think when I get back from my trip, I'll be a little more in the spirit. So I'm going to grab just blue where the fold over is. I'm going to make that darker just by grabbing just the blue paint without any white. And then again, pull it through. All right, now to do the double color, I'm going to dip my brush in the water. I'm going to tap off the excess. I'm not really cleaning it. I still have blue paint in here. Jill is here. Jill, I was wondering if you're going to show up because this is a 6,000%. You can't get any more flicky-doos into one painting than this one. So I was thinking of you this whole time I was painting this painting. All right, I'm going to grab my yellow now. Again, look how see-through this is. See how much water is in that? See that? Okay, so I'm going to go to my brightest spot, which is here. I'm going to do that first. And I'm just going to flick upwards now. All right, and that's how you get the double color band. Okay, notice I didn't grab any more paint. I'm still doing these with the paint that's on my brush. All right, I'm going to grab a little bit more paint. Just to, she is here. How have I been, Carol? I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I have a trip. I'm leaving on Sunday, so I'm a little sidetracked. I'm already packed and stuff, but you know, you kind of, like when you're going away, you kind of, you know, do the mental, am I really ready? Do I have everything kind of thing? So I'm kind of doing that right now. But I know I'm going to have a good time. It's good stress. It's good stress. Yeah, I was asking where's Jill. So I love these lights. I love the double band one. Like I said, the open edges makes it look a little more natural. You know, I dyed my hair. I got stuff done. So we're getting there for this trip. And I'll take lots of pictures. I'll share some pictures with you guys if you want to see it. So I love the double one and with the open edges. They're really simple to do. The trick is just to have your paint to be loose and thin and see-through. And you're just flicking the colors through with your brush. And that's it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, bam, you have Northern Lights. Okay? So all right, so on to, let's do another layer of trees, and then we're going to go back to doing our reindeer. Okay, so the trees are getting bigger and bigger, so you can switch to using a bigger and bigger brush. I started using mini-me instead of tiny. Again, we're just using the same layer of colors, the happy little pile that I made of the blues, yellows, and whites. Thank you so much, Jill. I went with browns and soft colors and then a bold lip. So thank you so much, sweetheart. I appreciate that. So now I'm using mini-me, right? Because as my trees are getting bigger, my brush can get bigger. Okay, again, we're flicky doing. Okay, we're just flicky doing. So I'm grabbing whites, I'm grabbing blue. I'm making sure that the color is different than the tree behind it. Okay, and we're just going to make these bigger and bigger and bigger. Alright, in the masterpiece montage video you guys saw, you saw me doing this, right? There was definitely a blip of me doing this. I'm not going to over flick it. I'm getting like these different colors within one tree. I kind of like that. Okay, and so now your trees are almost to the bottom, so these guys should be rather large. All right, and if you want to talk about being messy about this, like, you know how I say when there's globs on your brush, you'll get globs on your painting? Well, look how much paint I'm putting on my brush. That's how much paint I'm putting on my brush. So you guys can totally load your brush up with a whole bunch of paint and knock out a tree for, doing one big pile of paint on your brush. You don't have to be super, super careful about this. That's hysterical, April. That is hysterical. Those of you that want to catch like Eve After Dark, those of you that want to, catch the unfiltered Eve, I go live on TikTok on Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. So, follow, aw, thank you so much, Jill. That means a lot to me. I go live from TikTok every Tuesday at 10 p.m. and it is not kid friendly at all. Come the new year, I'm going to be changing that time to earlier. I made it that time for my California friends, but I will be changing the time to earlier. So if you guys are on that platform, that social media platform, if you are on TikTok, 6,000%, you could catch me on there. And those videos are Eve After Dark. Eve After Dark. Jill, I'm so glad you're an artist again. That makes me really happy. Okay, so now I'm going to grab Tiny and we're going to do another reindeer. We're going to do a couple more reindeer. And let me grab Mr. Nifty real quick. Santa is dry, so close up. Let's put in color in Santa. Alright, so I'm just grabbing red paint and Mr. Nifty. To color Santa in. Okay, and then we gotta let that dry and we could add the details. I'm gonna swirl tap dab my brush. I'm gonna grab white paint. I'm gonna make his little trumpet. Alright, I'm going to make his little beard. I'm going to put the fluffy on his hat. I'm going to do some fluffy right here where his shirt meets his pants. I'm going to grab, TikTok is dangerous, steals your personal info. You know what? If you steal my info, you wasted your time because there's nothing there to steal. There's nothing there to steal. Alright, I mixed yellow and red to do his trumpet. Okay, and then we just have to dot in his eye. Right there. Okay, so, you know, if you let this dry in between layers and everything else, of course, he's going to come out a little bit better. I just finished him up real quick. I'm grabbing Mini-Me with white paint to clean up this edge. Okay, and then you guys can color your sleigh any colors you want it to be. Is a 15-year-old terrier he lost. Okay, prayers and well wishes for Munchkin, everybody. Alright, prayers and well wishes for Munchkin, guys. Each Creations family, fire up. Fire up for April with Munchkin. Let's get those, let's manifest some well wishes there. Okay, so I'm swirl tap dabbing Tiny, and I'm going to go back to my white paint, and we're going to do another reindeer silhouette. I'm going to add some more water to my white paint. I don't know why my white paint is getting so thick so quickly tonight, but you just add a little drip of water to it, just a little drip, and mix that in, and it'll loosen your paint right back up again. Okay, so the next reindeer is going to be this guy. Okay, so you need to make the rounded rectangle again at an angle. All right. And then we're going to swoop up this way and swoop up that way. His ears coming out because his head is facing you. So you're literally just going to put a thinner area here and then put his ears sticking out because his head is facing you. So there's no triangle. And we're going to squiggle do some antlers in. And then we're going to follow this line and put a leg. Put a leg. These legs are shorter. One there and one there. Round out his back. Put his tail. I gotta make these legs all little here. They gotta be a little longer because he wasn't looking very proportioned. Right? And then I'm just gonna make the tops of the legs thicker. Right, and his hoofies. Because he's looking straight at you. Alright, the other deer is a profile. These legs have to be a little bit longer. See, see what I mean about doing a little at a time? Because then you could always make adjustments to make it a little more proportioned. Okay, so you do a little at a time, and then you could always go back in and fill and fix and round your edges and make things a little more proportioned. Alright, the next reindeer is this way. So I'm going to do my rounded rectangle again. Then you're going to swoop this way with the neck and swoop that way with the neck. Put his little tail. The rounded triangle. The ears. Squiggly do the antlers. Follow this around, put his one leg in. Follow this, put his other leg in. This leg sticking straight out like that. This leg's coming out, bending in the middle, and going here. All right, round out the tops of your legs. And add his paws. Doot, 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 doot. You're going to have to practice these reindeers. Yeah, that's why I gave you the, to look up the reindeer silhouettes. And basically, I'm using you guys as a mirror. Basically, it's a rounded rectangle, rounded triangle for their heads. Then you just put in the 4 lines for their legs, whatever directions they're going in. And then you thicken the top part of the leg. And as long as you start off with that, as you're, making it proportionate, filling in the ears, filling in the antlers, and all of that good stuff, then they're going to get more and more reindeer-like. So as long as you get the rounded rectangle and the rounded head triangle and then the stick legs, you're there. And like I said, you just have to play with it to get it to the point of hooves. Thanks, Joan. The hooves. And then as you move your reindeer down, they're going to get bigger and bigger. All right, so the next one, right, and make sure you leave enough area to fit your whole reindeer in as you're moving these down. So the next one's at an angle. Again, like I was just telling you, rounded triangle. Okay, follow this up for the neck. Rounded triangle for the head. Right, so as long as you get the rounded rectangle for the body and the rounded triangle for the head, you'll be good to go. And then the ear. The antlers. His legs are bent, so the one leg is coming out this way. Then you bring this down a little bit, put the other leg coming out that way. And then it's a swoop and a swoop. These legs are coming out like this. Bam, there's one. This one, bam, there's the other. His tail straight up. Boop. And then you just thicken the tops of the legs. So as long as you're getting these rounded rectangles, as you're filling in the rest, and the hooves, like Joan just told me, I got to put the hooves in. Okay, so Joan was telling me there were hooves. My reindeer look like they've already been in the eggnog. Yeah, that's all good. Nothing wrong with some eggnog, reindeer. Alright, now let's see. Let's do another layer of trees. Yeah, losing a pet stinks. It really does. I just try to remind myself that I feel great loss because I was blessed with great love. But it doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't make it any easier, because they definitely take a piece of our heart, that's for sure. April, you said my reindeer look like they hit eggnog? Too much, they're cute reindeer. Well, thank you, Nikki. April Brat. What do you want for 2-second reindeer? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to switch to Big Boy for my trees now. They're party hard, reindeer, right? Alright, so we're going to switch to Big Boy for my tree, because now we're super duper up close. Okay, again, playing with these colors, the whites, the blues, the yellows. See, my canvas is all happy. Alright, and we're gonna, thank you, Nikki. Alright, and we're gonna flicky-do. Jill, where's Jill? We're gonna flicky-do the tops of these trees in. Okay, using Big Boy, I'm just sweeping this way, I'm sweeping that way. And then leave it alone so you get the separation of colors in there. Grab blue, I'll do a darker one of blue right here. Boop, boop. Boop, boop, flicky-doo, flicky-doo. The bigger trees. There we go. And we need one a different color because this one's that color. So we'll go here with this one. Flicky-doo, flicky-doo. And if you mess up a part of your reindeer, you know, you could easily just swoop, cover it with the tree. You know, if he's on the tree line, you could very easily just put the trees over the back of them. So, there's a couple of my reindeer backs that are being hidden by the tree. So, no worries there. Alright, so we have our trees that are closer together. I gotta let them dry. What you guys want to start doing is on the trees all the way in the back, I'm taking Nifty. Let me bring you in. Whoop, whoop, boo, boo. Close up. Nifty, thin white paint, and you're going to flick white lines onto these trees. Okay, you want to make sure you get the point nice and pronounced. And you're going to do all these little flicks in there. You don't want to lose the color of the tree. So here, there, not everywhere. The most important part is to get the points. I didn't do white on all of them. Some of them have blue in the white. Okay, so I have ones that have blue in the white. All right, this way you could tell the difference between the trees. So you just kind of make different colors of blue and white. So then this way, as you're doing the tree underneath, you make the point a different color and you'll be able to see it. So it's all different variations of blue and white. And then the lighter turquoise color. So it's basically taking your tree colors that you made before and adding white to them. So you get all these different very light versions of versions. Oh my goodness gracious. Of the, yeah, all these different versions of white paint. You don't want to make every single one have white on them, because then you won't be able to tell them apart. So basically I'm adding white to that turquoise, a whole lot of white to that turquoise color I had. I'm adding a whole lot of white to the blue that I had. Okay, and then I'm grabbing just white for some of the other ones. And you just work your way down, and as you get further and further down, you make your flicky-doos bigger. Okay, so as you get further down, you make your flicky-doos bigger. So the trick is, like I said, you guys, you want to turn around, and for some reason we like to make our snow white, white, white. And the difference here is that there are, the difference is that some of them you make white, white, so it, you can see the difference, okay? But then some of them are the different variations of the teal and the blue. So this way you can tell the difference between the different trees. Okay, that's the trick, is to make them lighter versions of the teal, lighter versions of the blue, and you want to make sure you can see the tips of all the trees against each other. So every tree. Now, if you notice this process, it's a zone out. It's really fun to do. You can just turn around and put in these little flicky white areas, and it looks really, really amazing. So it's totally worth the time. And then as you get to the bigger trees, right, you just switch to a bigger brush. You just switch to a bigger brush. Are you guys misbehaving in there? Are you misbehaving in my chat? As I'm trying to teach flicky doos. So as you work your way down, you can put in, you can switch to a bigger brush. All right. I also have some of the trees, right? They have like a dab. It's not so I dab the paint on like this. Gives you a different effect. So I'm just have the paint on my brush and I'm just dabbing it in. Okay, like that. Gives a different type of texture, a different feel to it. Okay, so if you like that look, you can do some of your trees with that instead. Okay, you can put your blue color on there and then take the white and go in with this, and it'll give you the separation of colors in your flicks. Okay, it'll give you the separation of colors in your flicks. You quit painting 30 minutes ago? Oh my goodness. What do you guys, it would be fun to sing karaoke with that eggnog, 6,000%. Oh my, oh my goodness. You guys don't want me singing karaoke. No, it's not pretty. So you can grab your like turquoise color and put that on there, right? So you grab the turquoise color, you put that on there, and then you could go in, you know, on these bigger trees, and you can go in with the white, and then you get this really pretty separation of colors. Okay, so that's another trick for you guys to do. And as soon as it starts to become a little mushy, you just grab some more white. Okay, so you can do that also. All right, and you just do this, working your way all the way down, and then it looks really, really, really cool. All right, so it's not hard to do. It's just time consuming, that's all. That's all it is. Okay, so I'm going to grab just blue on Mini Me now. And I'm going to flicky do just blue on this big tree right here. Okay, here, there, not everywhere. And then I'm going to grab my white and flicky do the white on here. And you see how you get that separation of color? So that is a really cool effect. And you don't have to go perfectly like this way and this way right in the center. You can switch it up to not have these completely, all of them completely coming out of the center. Okay, so your tree's not perfectly split in half. You have them coming out at different directions. All right, so if I grab my teal and my yellow and do this tree with those colors. All right, so I'm going to do this tree with those colors. I'll wipe off my brush. Now grab my white. And you'll get this really cool separation of color. And by what I mean about not going, I'm not going directly down the center, this side and that side. I'm putting some over here, and then I'm coming and putting some over there. And this way you get your trees to look more three-dimensional. You don't have them split right down the center, okay? You have them coming out from either end. All right, and like I said, you could always do the dabs. Adds a different type of texture going on. So instead of doing a full flick, I'm just dabbing this on to give a little bit of a different texture. Okay, so you can do that with your trees. Now I'm going to switch to Big Boy. All right, do my bigger trees. So I'm going to grab just blue paint with Big Boy, loading the brush up. Going to make my point nice and defined. I'm going to flick the blue. Okay, grab some more, flick some more. Okay, and now I'm going to grab my white. And like I said, you don't flick perfectly in half. Okay, you put some pieces that are not coming directly out of the center, and then your trees look, they have more of a dimension, than they're not just split in half. Okay, just like that. And as you fill this in, right, obviously the more layers and the more details you do, the better it's going to look. Of course, you have to have one tree being the winner and the loser, right? You have to have one tree that's in front of the other tree. Okay, so make sure you're paying attention to which tree is in front of which tree. Okay, grab my white. Put in my flickies. All right, let this dry. You can put some brighter spots of white onto it. Okay, so that is how you finish up your trees. All right, guys. You're going to color in your reindeer any colors you want. Color in your sleigh any colors you want. Do a design on your sleigh any way you want. I'm going to show you the other reindeer that are left. You love how the trees are coming out. I have to go back and read the whole chat. Okay. Billy told you to stop heckling. Okay. You don't sing. So that would be fun. Oh my goodness. You guys are, oh my goodness. I need a snow-covered weeping willow. April, you and these weeping willows. What are you doing to me? All right. So you got to let these dry, right? I did them really fast. But if you don't let them dry, you're going to wind up with big, mushy, messy trees. So make sure that you let it dry and then go back and add more pops of white and then go back and add more pops of darker colors and just keep, like I said, the more layers you do, the better they're going to look. All right. And I'm going to let these dry, and then once they're dry, I can add more flicky doos to them And you are not getting, I am never, ever going to paint you a weeping willow. I'm only kidding. I'll definitely be painting you a weeping willow one of these days. You're like the little kid that's just like, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. Okay. So, our last reindeer, we got 3 to go, okay? Unless you guys are adding a Rudolph. I told you how to find the silhouettes, all right, to match the silhouettes up. Okay, guys, you can use them as templates. You just cut them out. You know, if you want to do it that way, like I said, as long as you get these, yes, like a donkey, they have layers. No, I'm a parfait. My favorite part of the Shrek movie, look, I got paint all over me. My favorite part of where are we surprised I have paint all over me? My favorite part of the Shrek movie is when Donkey changes into the horse and he's prancing around and he's like, I'm a stallion. That's my favorite part, man, because he's all like proud and popping and he's all like, I'm a stallion. You're like, yeah, that's right, Donkey. I'm a stallion too. That's like my favorite part. That whole movie. That's my favorite part. Thank you, Marie. It really is worth the effort. It comes out really, really pretty. So, I'm going to get clean white paint. And it's not hard to do. It's just time consuming. All right, we're grabbing Mini-Me. I'm grabbing clean white paint. And we're going to do our 3 reindeer here. If we can get Nikki and April to behave. Alright. We got the reindeer that's on this side. Okay, so rounded triangle. Rounded rectangle. I don't know why I keep screwing that up. Rounded rectangle. Make sure you're leaving enough space to add all the parts and they're not going to run into the other reindeers. Oh, speaking of shirts, I'm going to be having my shirts ready to order before Christmas. So thank you, April, for that reminder. So the painting shirts are going to be available to purchase before Christmas. Okay, so 6,000%. I'll be sharing that information with you guys. Obviously, I'm going away, but when I come back, I'll be focusing on doing that. All right, this guy's just a profile, so we're going to swoop this up this way. Follow this rounded part, swoop that up that way. All right, there's his neck. All right, we're going to do a rounded triangle for his head. Count you in? Yeah. So for right now, we're going to have them be, do his legs, right? One there. Again, start off small and thin, and then you could add to him his hind leg, right? Coming out this way. His other hind leg coming out this way. Okay, so start those nice and thin and just as little sticks with bends in them. That's all they are. Little sticks with bends. Bend and bend. Okay, his tail. Add his tail. Okay, his head obviously needs to be a little bit bigger. All right, his ears. Straight up. Bam and bam. And then you add your antlers. Okay, and then you go back. Once you have the basics down, then you go back and you can thicken up the top of the legs, see, like this. And you can round your edges out like that. You come in here and you can soften this piece right there. And you can thicken up this area right here. All right. And, you know, make the one leg behind the other. So you do this all with a second coat of white, and then you could color them in whatever colors you want them to be. And then you have to add your hooves. Boop, 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 boop. Okay? And then the other deer is a, you would love to be in, but you'd have to ask questions first. I think you both have been drinking eggnog tonight. Okay, the other deer is just a profile this way. Which I gotta leave room for the last deer right here. So let's move this up. So he's just a profile this way. Okay, again, rounded rectangle. Rounded rectangle. Swoop up with the neck. Rounded triangle. Okay, ears. Antlers. Tail. Legs. Boop. Boop. Again, like I said, just make them as sticks. Put the little bends in them wherever the bend is. Right? Make them as sticks, and then you can round them out later. Right? This one bends this way and then comes forward. Right? This one goes straight down like that. And then once you add these in, then you could clean them up, right? Then you could soften the lines, make one behind the other, smooth this out, make the top part thicker, make them a little longer if you need to make them a little longer, whatever you need to do to clean it up a little bit, add their little hooves. All right, this has to be rounded better. Okay, and if you totally screw one up, you can just turn around and you can just flicky-do your tree, if it's by the tree line, and put them behind a tree. So that's totally allowed. That's totally allowed if you need to, if you have one of your deer and it's not really coming out that great, you can just put them peeking out from the edges of the trees. So then all you really have to worry about is the front part of them. All right, and if you notice, I'm flicky doing in this tree with my smaller brush, and it's giving me really cool different areas of colors within the tree. So that is another thing that you can do to add more dimensions to your trees. All right, and then once that all dries, you grab your white paint, and then you just put your white paint on here. Okay, pick which tree is beating the other tree. Which one's the winner, which one's the loser. Right? Make sure you put that in the front. Just like that. 6,000%. Okay, so, okay, so the last reindeer, you literally only see his head coming out from the bottom of the canvas. So he is easy peasy, lemon squeezy. all you need to do is you make 2 triangles. Okay, so we have the 1 triangle going off the canvas, which is his body. Then we have the other triangle, which is his head. Okay, you round this out a little bit over here. Come on the other side, round this out a little bit over there. You add his ears. And then his antlers. Okay, so you literally only see his head at the bottom of the canvas. So, and that, guys, is everything you need to know from me to paint this. Like I said, I bring you guys to like layer 3, and then it's all on you to create, all right? To create, to add your colors to the reindeer, to schmooze anything you want to schmooze, to add details. Of course, I'm going to have internet on my trip, so if anybody has any questions for me or anything, you can still Facebook message me. I will be able to see those and answer you. That is the most direct way to get in touch with me. I also have my email. You can shoot me an email if you're more comfortable with that. So, like I said, if you guys want paintings for the holidays to give for gifts or anything, I linked my Etsy on my website also. There's opportunities to purchase my artwork. The shirts are coming out next. So there's no party next Friday. The following Friday, we're going to be doing Jack. Okay, so what? Woohoo! And Jack only has 2 little tiny things. So we got our tiny out of the way. So this is going to be the next one coming up. Awesome Jack skeleton for Christmas. You guys are going to love the last painting before Christmas. It is not finished yet, but I think you're going to like it a lot. I think you are going to like it a lot. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're going to like it a lot. So look for the masterpiece montage, because that's what I post, and it's a little sneak peek into what paintings are coming up. I don't know if you guys realize that or not. So every masterpiece montage video that I create for you to enjoy with the music and me doing the brush strokes, that's always a heads up to what's coming in the future. I don't know if you guys connected those dots, but that's what it is. Thank you so much for the stars. You guys got me up to 400 stars, so thank you for that. Like I said, each star on your end is about a penny. Just so you know what you're spending. So thank you for the 400 stars. And thank you to the ladies that participated in Dollar Day. That was very kind of you. And if you send a donation of $3 or more, you get the Mr. Nifties for free, and all that good stuff. You guys know the spiel. All right, when you're finished with this in about a month, you could post it to the event page to share it. And and I'll make sure I make a video out of all your paintings. All right, guys? So, it keeps freezing on you, Joanne. That's okay. Thank you for the well wishes on my trip. You're welcome, Carolyn. Thank you so much. April, I'm glad that you found some happy distraction. Thank you, Debbie, for the stars. Thank you so much. Good night, sweetheart. You guys keep the lights on. So, one of these nights I'm going to start my video and it's going to be in the dark. I'm tempted. But anyway, you all have an amazing weekend, an amazing week coming up. I hope everybody feels better that is under the weather. I hope all the trials and tribulations with your fur babies work out. And oh, you haven't been able to comment the whole time? Oh, Debbie. Oh, man. All right. Well, you have a great night, Debbie. Thank you. And the other Debbie, thank you so much. And I will post from my trip. I'll share some photos with you guys. Thank you so much, Gail. You're going to miss me? I'll be back before you know it. I'll be back before you know it. In your screen, brainwashing you, flicky-doos, and leave it alone, and all of that good stuff. And we're going to have shirts available with my sayings on them, so you guys can have painting shirts. They're going to be the Gildan shirts, the nice quality ones. So that's coming up the pike. Lots of exciting things. And like I said, if you want to taste the Eve after dark, singing, karaoke, and you happen to have TikTok, I am on TikTok under Eve's Artistry, okay? So I love you all. Thank you so much. Ketchup mustard is definitely on a shirt. And the more you play with it, the bigger it gets is definitely on a shirt. And Swirl Tap Dab is on a shirt. And what other graphics? We have ketchup mustard, yep, is on the shirt. We have... You Keep the Lights On is on a shirt, 6,000%, Fluffies, Big Boy. Oh, there's so many options. There's so many options. So you guys are going to be able to check that out. That hopefully I'll get all the buttons pressed before Christmas. They'll be available. So we're going to do... You can order ones that are already made, right? Font and color and size are already pre-made. Or you'll have the option to order ones custom made, where you get to pick your color and pick your saying and pick your size. So they're going to be available in both options, either to order a pre-made shirt or one you can custom make. We'll probably launch the custom make ones first until we can build a stock of pre-made ones. So that's how that's going to work. But anyway, I love you all. Have an amazing week. I'm going to see you guys in 2 weeks. And thank you, Gail. I appreciate that. And more videos are coming down the pike. I got another Hey Eve series coming your way. Lots of things going on. Lots of balls rolling. And I'm going to go relax for a week for as much as I possibly can. So I love you all. Y'all warm my heart. Thank you for the support. Have fun and go create. Good night, everybody. Mwah. Bye.